That would have been much better if it had a home button. Right, we need to have a look at this iPhone X. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a very good one, especially for a 10-year anniversary one. See this cool flowing through the X here. Let's have a look at it. So this is the device here. So obviously nice big screen. Well, this is about the size of an iPhone 6 I think, or an iPhone 7, not the Plus. So you've got a nice screen that goes all the way to the edges. No home button, so it goes right down the bottom, and then you've got this bit up the top which has got the normal sensors and also the face scanner, and then this little part is the speaker, and then the same sort of buttons down the side: power button, volume buttons, and the silence switch, and the lightning port down the bottom. So I guess it looks kind of cool that the whole thing's a screen, but anyway, let's go on and then we'll get to the butts. Right, what else have we got here? So it says here it's all screen. In fact, we're going to go right into the butts. It's all screen, but this bit isn't screen. This bit here is not screen. So since when was it okay to have a screen which has a little, like, you wouldn't have that on your telly, would you? You wouldn't have this on your telly. Just a bit that you can't watch. Like on the S8, the Samsung S8, they have a little thin bit so that they don't have to have this silly look. Anyway, that's the first butt. Second butt is this, the no home button. So the whole point of this is supposed to celebrate the 10 years of the iPhone, and one of the defining features of the iPhone is that it only has one button, I guess, but the home button is, you know, that's where you go home. That's the most important button. So if you can't go home, where can you go? So this one, instead of having a home button, well, for Touch ID for a start, you look at it and it recognises your face, but you swipe up this little line here and that opens it, or I guess takes you home if you're in an app. This one, see, it's got the little line there, you pull that down and that takes you into the connection centre. I don't think that's good. I think it needs to have a home button. That would have been much better if it had a home button. See what else we've got before we go too much into that. Rounded corners, which I suppose is pretty cool, but I think the amount of effort they've put into having all these rounded corners on the display could have been better spent, you know, doing something a bit more practical. It looks cool, but it's not normal to have rounded corners on the display. You want a sharp edge, really, a sharp corner. It looks like the new display is going to be pretty sharp in colour. Looking at it here, all you really can see is the shape, because you can't see how good the display is when you're looking at it on a display which is not that display. But this bit, no, I'm not having it. I don't like it. And it's all glass, so on the back is glass as well. The sides are aluminium, front and back glass. This is another thing, I don't like how this sticks out. See, it's like it just sort of sticks out. There's no bezel, no chamfer, or like on the iPhone 7 it's like a little like a gradual sort of pop out. This one's like, looks like it's just stuck on. I don't really like it. Looks like a fidget spinner. It kind of looks like someone's put a fidget spinner in the back of the phone. Not a fan of it. What else we got? Oh, how did he do that? How did he do that? So this is the showing the facial recognition. You just look at it and it unlocks. So the first time he showed you it, Craig showed you it on the thing that failed. The guy went on quite a lot about security, how the iPhone's iconic for its security performance and stuff, and how they've revolutionised the security. And then later on they said that this, if your face could be recognised 1 in a million, so that means that if there's effectively in a million people, there's another one person which would look like enough like you to open your phone, which isn't good enough. I don't think that's not a breakthrough in security. That's backwards. And also, if you've got a twin, they said just if you've got a twin, you need to put a passcode on. That's not right. Like they could have done anything. If they'd had they could have had a Touch ID on the back. But I don't think this isn't going to be the way forward with the iPhone. They're not going to stick with this Face ID nonsense because it isn't secure. It's just silly. So when you're paying, you need to have put your phone on the scanner and be looking at it at the same time. So, like, imagine if you're at the drive-thru at McDonald's and you want to pay with your phone, you've got to hold your phone out and then make sure you've got your face in front of it as well. Nah, it's not good. This lighting thing on the portrait mode, I'm not sure how they're doing that. He said it wasn't a filter, but if you're changing the lighting, it's just Photoshop, isn't it? You can't. It's not like he was showing a picture of a big like lighting rig from a photo shoot. It's not like that. You've got the light that you've got, and then you can manipulate the parts of it that you want to manipulate using this. You can only really change the light you've got. It might not be a filter, but it's definitely not studio lighting. What are they calling it? They're calling it portrait lighting. Studio quality lighting effects. Well, it'll be better than what you can get just now, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that. And this is a good, a fun thing, I suppose, but this seems to be like one of the main selling points of the phone, which is a complete like it's using that facial ID scanner to scan your face and make these emojis or animojis move, and they seem to be right into that. They were all about that, but I don't think that should be a selling point of the phone. Like, it shouldn't be like in the top. That shouldn't be one of the top things that you want to sell the phone on. But that seems to be what they're trying to do. And here's this camera again, which I was saying just looks like it's stuck on. It doesn't look like there's been any effort to like make. Oh, I never even noticed that before. The wee microphone, completely out of coordination with everything else. Wee microphone there. That's made it even worse for me. So I think it's the same camera setup, and I don't think. Well, I'm not sure on this one if they both have optical image stabilization, but it didn't look like it on the 8. But yeah, that just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. Looks silly. If it was flush, it might look better, but I'm not having that. I don't think it looks very good. Improved camera and a new telephoto camera with OIS, so maybe it does have OIS on that one. That's the optical image stabilization. Yeah, both rear cameras have optical image stabilization, so that's good. I don't know if the iPhone 8 did. I'm not really talking about that just now. So, optical zoom, superhuman intelligence with this A11 Bionic. They seem to just come up with fancy new names for things now, rather than, it's just a processor. But, you know, I suppose it's got this neural engine which they had to make to try and secure up the Face ID thing, but I'm not sure how good it's going to be in actual functionality. Like, what good's it going to be? Is it going to be any better? I'm not sure. For Face ID it will be, but that's not a better feature anyway. So we've got a faster CPU, machine learning, 2 hours longer between charges than the iPhone 7, and wireless charging. This is pretty cool. It would be good to have wireless charging, but not a groundbreaking iOS for a groundbreaking iPhone. There's nothing groundbreaking about this iPhone, I don't think. I think this is a half-finished iPhone. Like this here, this isn't good. Like, having a bit of the screen that you can't see, what would be better is if you could see all of that, but still use the camera, still use the speaker, and also have a home button down the bottom that you could see as well. Like, I don't know why they couldn't have if they can make a bit in the glass like that, surely they could have made a bit in the glass at the bottom, even if it was just a black bit. But what would have been better is if they could have made it an actual screen, and then you could put a notification on there, or an app logo, or a picture or something. You know, you could have done quite a lot with that, and I think they probably will in the future, but they rushed this one out to try and catch up with Samsung and stuff who are making bigger displays on the screens. That's what I think anyway. Here's some accessories for it. Nice case to cover up that stuck on camera effect. I would prefer this one, but even this one isn't good enough to, well, it's good enough, it's just not a big enough difference to consider changing from the iPhone 7 Plus to this one. The only difference really is that it's got wireless charging. In fact, let's have a look at the cameras to see if this one, because it didn't seem like this one had optical image stabilization on both cameras. See that? No, it doesn't look. iPhone X has dual optical image stabilization. This one's got improved apertures on the lenses, I think. Let's have a look, can we change that? So what's that aperture? 1.8 and 2.8 for the cameras, which is exactly the same as the iPhone 7 Plus. Optical image stabilization, optical zoom and digital zoom, you can ignore that because digital zoom is not really a feature. Wide color capture for photos and live photos, quad LED true tone flash and portrait mode. Just have a look at that and I'll change it to iPhone 8 Plus and see if anything changes. This changed. Portrait lighting. That's the only thing, which is just software. Well, no, I suppose they're saying it's to do with that new processor as well. And the 7 Plus, you can go 7 Plus, 8 Plus, you can go 1080p at 240 frames per second, so you can burn through your storage a bit quicker, but again, that's the only thing. You've not got on here dual optical image stabilization. That's the big one, isn't it? And what about the front camera? Let's put it down there so we can see it better. Front camera on 7 Plus, FaceTime HD, 7 megapixel, 2.2 Retina, 1080 HD. Nothing different between the 8 and the 7 Plus, or 8 Plus and 7 Plus. So there's no point really. The only thing that's different, that's worth talking about, is that you can do wireless charging between the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus. So is the 8 Plus worth buying? If you've got a 6, then probably, but if you've got a 7, then probably not. There's no point, and this certainly isn't worth buying because then you're losing the Touch ID, and that's just a nonsense. Super duper Retina display as well for the iPhone X. I was hoping that you can do portrait mode with the front camera on the iPhone X. I was hoping that the iPhone X was going, the rumours about it not having Touch ID or being a disappointment were going to be not true or made better when I seen the keynote, but it's definitely not. Like it's just not it's not a good improvement. It's just a sort of look at what we done, but they didn't actually do a good job. I don't think. Most people will probably skip this round of iPhones, and certainly I don't think the iPhone X will sell many compared with other iPhone models anyway. So that's pretty much it. What do you think about the iPhone X? Would you buy it? With it stuck on camera, stuck on sideways camera, and its little cutout bit at the top and lines everywhere, like it's some sort of accessibility feature? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.